Senator, yes, there will always be a version of Facebook that is free.
That turned out to be, I guess, a comment coming from a man very much in the know, Zuckerberg, saying that when he previously testified that there would be a free version, that implies that there would be a version that is not. And what do you know? They're gonna be rolling out soon. Meta is testing paid verification, which, look, this is obviously a follow-up to what's going on with Twitter, and that's going to run through our commentary here. But at least it is gonna verify you. Like, Twitter isn't actually even doing that. They're pretending that it's about verification. It's not. It's about selling you an $8 NFT of a blue check. That's what it is. Doesn't make what Meta's doing any better, as you'll see. He put out this comment saying, "Good morning, new product announcement. This week, we're starting to roll out Meta Verified, a subscription service that lets you verify your account with a government ID, get a blue badge, get extra impersonation protection against accounts claiming to be you, and get direct access to customer support." There's also apparently a lot of word that this is going to help boost you when it comes to visibility of your posts, which is where we get into just the worst territory. It's one thing to sell paid verification, something that should just be a part of a social media site anyway. But when you are effectively incentivizing people to have to pay just so that the people who've already gone out of their way to follow them can see their stuff, that really sucks. And it's gonna cost you $11.99 a month on web or $15 a month on iOS and Android. So for the price of what, like Netflix, you can have a tiny little blue badge. That seems like a good trade, hours and hours of, I don't know, Disney Plus or Paramount Plus or something, or little badge, little tiny badge. What do you think, Ravana?
I think it's obviously very, very similar to what Twitter did. Of course, aside from the fact that you actually have to show an ID to be verified on Facebook, and Facebook's always been, an app or a site, however you're using it, where you use your real name as opposed to Twitter, where a lot of people do not. So it would be more difficult to verify people in that way on Twitter. So I'll give them that to their credit. I am very concerned about sending Facebook, who is known for selling your private data, a picture of your ID. I would suggest nobody do this because, of course, there's types of data that it's illegal for them to sell, but Facebook also doesn't have the best track record of giving a damn about what's legal and what's not when it comes to your privacy and your data. Every few months, I get an email saying that I can be a recipient of a settlement, class action against Facebook because they mishandled my private data. So it's nice every once in a while to get those $500 checks, but also a surprise check in the mail always feels good. But I would rather have my privacy and my security stay private and secure.
Yeah, of all of the places to willingly share more of your private information, I don't feel like Facebook is the place. And I guess this is a hill I'm gonna die on. I'm not calling them Meta. Shut up,
no.
Mark Zuckerberg. You Facebook. That's who you are. But anyway, I hate this. Isn't it amazing that Elon Musk is so powerful, so genius, that by buying Twitter, he can ruin Twitter and he can make companies he doesn't even own worse? That is truly amazing. Most CEOs can only tank their own company. But seeing this spread to Facebook and Instagram is terrible. These sites have a purpose. There's a reason that people like signing up for social media sites. And I think what people demand from them is not that complicated. The issue is that just giving them what they demand doesn't make you the wealthiest person in the world. Having a site where you can post little comments and post a picture and the people who follow you see it in chronological order would be a very easy thing to set up. I know that because college kids did it like 15 or 20 years ago. Making all of this an algorithm that opens up massive opportunities for them to hide your stuff unless you pay them. This is now a social media protection racket, effectively. That's, it's a nice social media account you have. It would be a shame if something were to happen to it. That's what we're seeing on Twitter and on Facebook. Nobody should pay for this in the same way that nobody should pay for the verification that isn't on Twitter. Not only because it opens you up to potential breach of more privacy, but also because it is gonna make you look like a tool in the same way that it does on Twitter. I'm not saying there aren't some good people that have paid for it or whatever. Eventually I might find one. But generally, I've noticed a pattern in the sorts of people willing to hand over $8 a month to Elon Musk, and they're not necessarily sending their best.
No. Yeah, I'll just say, I think that this, maybe Facebook is trying to recoup some of the billions and hundreds of billions of dollars they spent building the metaverse that never took off the way that they wanted it to. I think this is a really pathetic way to do it. I also think it's bizarre because Facebook doesn't have that same sort of like blue check culture that Twitter does, where, everyone on Twitter has decided at some point that we hate blue checks and they make bad tweets. And like, it was a big joke among people who aren't verified, like myself, that like, oh, it's just another blue check opinion or whatever. Facebook doesn't have that. It's not really, there's not the sense of like, oh, people with blue checks are better than you. It's like people with blue checks are, public figures or companies, and then you use Facebook mostly to interact with your friends and family. So why would you need that check next to your name? It just doesn't make sense to me from that angle, especially when it comes to making money. So which is why I am more inclined to believe it's about selling user data than it is about, getting people to sign on to this program to make money, because it won't make that much money. It hasn't made Twitter that much money.
No, 100%. Yeah, and I always hated the way that the right wing spent a couple of years stoking that thing on Twitter of like, they're looking down on you. They think they're better than you. First of all, many of the right wing people doing that had blue checks that if they were taken away, they would have lost their minds. And then Elon Musk was an active part of that. Like these blue checks think they're better than you. How would you like to give me $8 a month for the rest of your life so that you could kind of pretend that you're one of these people that you say that you, again, like I think you could just honestly remove this, just verify everyone or whatever, if that's what you wanted to do. And there shouldn't be any either stigma or there shouldn't be two classes of people or whatever, but to like pretend that you understand that, but then to monetize the resentment is so, that doesn't seem right either. Anyway, I don't really care what happens on Facebook. I am not gonna pay this. I'm not willing to have the sort of Instagram account that would potentially get likes anyway, so I'm not too worried about this. So we'll see what happens with it.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.